Hello, friends. I am Chevee. Welcome to my shed. How are you doing today? How's life in your world? How's things where you are? It's Friday. I'm not feeling good. I stayed home today. I feel pretty icky. I feel like that's a very common trend for me when I come back from a convention, that I just don't feel that great. And so I took the day to kind of just rest and recuperate. And I slept in for the first time in forever. I don't know if I've talked about it here on the show, but for the past year or so, I've just been waking up at between 5 and 5:45 every morning, regardless of what time I go to bed, regardless of how tired I am from the day's activities, regardless of whatever. I just wake up at 5:30 most days. So it's been really strange. So I slept in today until 7, and then I got up and laid on the couch and didn't feel good all morning. Around 1 o'clock, I started feeling okay-ish, and I ate a little bit. But other than that, I've been feeling pretty crappy. So the good news is I was able to get something done, and that was make this thing. I started on it. Started thinking about it. Started designing it. And I was able to work on it this afternoon and get it. I still don't feel good. This is one of those cool things when, that being a woodworker affords me is the ability to do something like, I need set decoration, but I can't afford it. I have no money. I'm scraping by, so I don't have a lot of money to go buy set decoration. I have, can lights and stuff that I can stick up there real quick just to add some accent. I have some, I've got the way the way the shot's going to be framed. There's a desk that I can put some stuff on. So I have places where I can set a few little pieces. But interestingly, the set is a little bit different than the way most YouTubers do things. Here, the way I've positioned it myself, this background is 4 feet behind me, so it's got a lot of depth to it. Whereas in this particular alcove, I'm kind of sitting in the background. So I am part of the background. The background's part of me. So I have to be very careful about how I set stuff in. But I can't afford to go buy stuff. I have no money. So, but what I do have is some leftover hardwood from the dresser project. This is solid cherry. And I have a workshop full of tools where I can just come make something. So I came down and whipped this thing together pretty quickly. This is probably maybe a couple of hours of work, which means if I were to make more of these, I could sell this pretty cheaply. And it's nice. It's well made. I'm proud of it. So it is solid cherry. It's all just glued together with biscuits in all of the joints. That was fun, figuring out how to put biscuits in these middle pieces to get that all to line up. Worked out really, really well. Sanded, I've got a couple of coats of shellac on it, and it's ready to just go in place as a set piece, and I'll be able to put some stuff in here and maybe a little light or something to kind of highlight it, and this will sit behind me on set. So, I guess that there are lots of benefits to being a DIY person. There's lots of benefits of learning how to do your own automotive repair, your own home repair. But the main one is when you need something like this, I have a particular space. It's a very tight space. There's not a lot of room to wiggle to put anything fancy in there. And the process is either I go search for something to hang there and try to buy something that fits the space, or I make something. And in this case, I was able to quickly, with basically leftover wood. This was all... the boards that I bought for the desktop were all 8 feet, and I only used a little more than 5 feet of them. So I had these 3 foot lengths left over. So I was able to just rip it down and put this together, and I've got a really nice little knickknack shelf for very little dollars. And that's pretty cool. So I would say that, the takeaway here is even if you've never wanted to make a thing, even if you don't know what you should make, I think having the ability to make something, even if it's just taking 4 pieces of wood and screwing it together to make a box, do it and learn how to do it and learn how to make it presentable. And you can fill your house with stuff that you made for very little dollars, and it'll fit the space that it's designed for, as opposed to being something that's designed to be generic and then you have to fit it into a space. And there's a lot of reward there. So this is one of my favorite rewards from doing this kind of stuff, is I get to just make stuff like this real quick. It's not fancy. It's nice, but it's not fancy, and it'll just hang on a wall. So, yeah. Thought I'd share. So thank you for being here as always. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, being amazing friends, being wonderful people. I appreciate you, and I will see you tomorrow.
Hey, Doc, wait! I want to ask you something.
Today's random fact comes from JewishVirtualLibrary.org. Who was Alexander the Great's mentor? At the age of 13, Alexander the Great became a pupil of Aristotle. It was Aristotle who inspired Alexander's great love for literature. Through his mentor, Alexander learned the Greek ways of living and the ideals of Greek civilization.